All right. So we in, good mic check. Hopefully we don't get interrupted by anything. So let's get into it, you all, and let's see what we're going to learn today. So today we're going to talk about factual disputing and how you can actually get results doing factual disputes. So I'm sharing my screen with everyone. Hope you all can see. If you all are new to me and just joining, no matter if you're seeing this on YouTube, wherever you're seeing it at, I'm Zebulon Mitchell. I successfully have helped many people fix their credit, me and my wife, and we have a thriving service slash product-based business where people use our products to get their results and get life-changing things. Been doing this almost 6 years now, and it's a great opportunity to help someone who is lost and don't want to be lost. Help someone who is dealing with bad credit, but feel and know they shouldn't have bad credit. Or help somebody who just had mistakes. So that's who I am and that's what we do. So factual disputing, get educated and get results today. All practices are proven facts, big facts. So Zeb and Kisa, disclosure, I am not a lawyer. I'm just a person who love complicated things. That's who I am. So let's get into it. I know you all came for the good information. Word of the day. Whenever I do a webinar or I talk to someone, I like to give a word of a day. And I don't just do this for my sake, but I do it just to bring clarity and to help someone, because you may need to hear this. Your end should be greater than your beginning. Your end should be greater than your beginning. I do repeat myself a lot, not because I'm a preacher or anything, but I just like to make sure people heard it, because when I read several times to make sure I have clarity on what I'm reading. And when I say your end should be greater than your beginning, when we all started, we was given the life. We was given the things our parents gave. We was given whatever assistance we received when we started. But as you start to transgress through life, you're working for what you have. You're learning. You are inserting yourself. Therefore, as you transition to the end of your life, because at the beginning it was light, at the end it would be dark. As you transition, your end should be greater than what you was given. What you worked for should be greater than what you was given. You should not leave with equal or less than what you was given, because you should have learned something throughout life. And I hope someone gets that and help change your life and change how you're thinking and just make a difference in your day. So let's understand factual disputing on credit reporting. If my picture up here is knocking out the words, let me know. If you identify an error on your credit report, you should start by disputing that information with the credit reporting company. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, before I get to reading this some more, you all are going to hear me reference to these three companies as consumer reporting agencies. So if you ever watched any of my videos, that is what I call them, consumer reporting agencies, because by law, Congress stated the law, that is their name, consumer reporting agencies, not credit bureaus. When you address them as credit bureaus, you are using terms that are not legally implemented to identify them. You should explain in writing what you think is wrong. So I'm not a preacher, but when you're reading the Bible scriptures, when you have a good preacher like Geno Jennings, that's not my preacher, but it's just somebody I follow. So if you ever take time, look up Geno Jennings. This guy breaks down the Bible from A to Z, and he really explains what each scripture is saying. So what I'm explaining to you is my way of showing you how to understand credit. So I'm gonna really break this down. I want you to listen. You should explain in writing what you think is wrong. It does not say dispute online. Even though you have that option, you waive many of your rights. It does not say call them. Even though you have that option, you waive many of your rights. It says you should explain in writing what is wrong. Include copies of the documents to support your dispute. So I have some documents I'm going to show you all today because I have been sued before and I beat that lawsuit. So I'm not a lawyer, but I can give you some of my best practices that you probably can implement. But what are the consumer reporting agencies in the United States of America? So we know 3. This is up-to-date information, 2023, y'all. There are nearly 40 consumer reporting agencies in the US, but just 3 of the so-called bureaus dominate the market. You see how I call them so-called bureaus? They dominate the market. These are the 3. These companies are so big, they are in other countries like Canada, Puerto Rico, which is a territory, which is where I reside, Guam, like Virgin Islands, they're big. The big 3 bureaus collect information. So if you ever watched any of my videos, if you have not seen my video on how to use consumer law, I go into deep details about how they collect information and why they are called a consumer reporting agency, because they are the warehouse. They collect the information from the consumer reporting agency, which is weird, you got to watch the video, and they house it to the furnishers or whoever pulling your credit. That's how they make money out of people with bad credit. How we manage our financial obligations. That means how you pay your bills, known as consumer reporting agencies. So I hope you all got that and really understood it. Why is factual disputing important? Why is it so important? Your credit report plays a crucial role in determining your credit score and overall financial health. So why is it so important? Inaccurate information can lead to higher interest rates, loan rejections, or even affect job applications. My wife was once denied a job at a local credit union where we lived at in Memphis because it was inaccurate information on her credit report. And we didn't know. We just thought they didn't want to hire her. But as we got more mature and dedicated ourselves to learning these things, we realized she was a victim of identity theft. So she was denied a job, but we never went back and applied. It just took us maybe 6 months to finally figure out. But this we was transitioning to why our credit was so bad and how we could fix it. Factual dispute helps ensure that your credit report accurately reflects your financial history. So let me see what my next slide is, because I want to talk about these inaccuracies. The common inaccuracies to dispute. So I want to use this one and go back and forward. The first bullet say your credit report plays a crucial role in determining your credit score and overall health. Inaccurate information can lead to higher interest rates. So let's talk about common inaccuracies. If you all are following me and I'm breaking it down real good, please comment. No matter if you're seeing this on the YouTube, the Facebooks, or whatever you have, if you can make a comment, please comment. And if you can leave a review somewhere, please leave a review because I want to make sure I'm helping you. Common inaccuracies to dispute. Correct personal information. Don't you all know that this thing alone, this first bullet alone, inaccurate information and inaccurate personal information are the same thing. They said this can lead to higher interest rate loan rejections. Let's talk about loan rejections. So many consumers, which are you and me, people who consume things and use our credit, inaccurate personal information. What does that exactly mean? That means when your name is not spelled correctly, or you have missing abbreviations, or your suffix is missing or being used, or if your address, you have old addresses, outdated addresses, this information causes you to be denied. If your child, let's just say you had a newborn, anybody who have kids, when you get their birth certificate, if they bring you the birth certificate of your child or the social security card, and the name that you gave or given your child is not reporting accurately, you will correct it, right? Because by law, when they go apply for something, it calls them to be misidentified or mistaken for someone else. So you correct it. I have seen people grow, they haven't corrected yet, but many parents correct it. Why not correct it with the consumer reporting agencies? Because when you fill out the application and you hand it over and give them the ability, the obligation to pull your reports, you're letting them know you are who you say you are on the application. But when the consumer reporting agencies have different information or different variations of your name, they are looking at it when they get it back and say, hey, maybe this person is applying for credit under different names. Maybe they are somebody who commit fraud. Maybe we can't verify this person. And you're denied simply just because how your information is reported. So if you was given one name and it was spelled one way, and you was given one social, one date of birth, and you stay at one current address, anything else outside of that is incomplete, inaccurate. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which I will talk about later, that is a law that governs how consumer reporting agencies and furnishers of information and lenders report your information. You are able to get that outdated information moved or incomplete information removed. And if not, you can seek legal help and get it updated because it is causing you damages. I keep hearing this story about a lady in Florida who was awarded over $20 million from Experian alone because they caused her damages due to them reporting her credit score inaccurately after she applied for a home. So you can seek damages when you know this stuff is inaccurate. Accounts that don't belong to you, that's inaccurate, that's under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Accounts with incorrect payment status. Somebody trying to join? Let me let them in real quick. Hey, hello, welcome aboard. So accounts that are inaccurate. All right, they threw me off real quick, y'all. Let me fix this. Okay, there we go. Accounts that don't belong to you. Yes, accounts that don't belong to you. Outdated negative information. So accounts older than 7 years, it's considered outdated. Should be on your reports. These are all factual disputes. So you don't have to go writing some extensive letter to get these items removed. Factual disputes, and I'm gonna get deeper into it. Duplicate accounts or entries. People who file bankruptcy, I'm gonna give you a great gem, bankruptcy people. When you file a bankruptcy, by law, all those accounts should be included in a bankruptcy. When you file, you're asking them to include everything in the bankruptcy, no matter which chapter it is. Either you're gonna do a chapter 7 and you're forgiving of all unsecured debts and it's included in the bankruptcy, or you're doing a chapter 13 where you're gonna repay all your debts and it's in one pool. So why is it reporting on your credit? That's a duplicate account. It should be included in the bankruptcy, not shown on your reports as a collection or derogatory. So I want to give a quick disclaimer. Excuse me. I've been doing this over 6 years. I have looked at thousands of reports, and I have never seen a report that was completely accurate. Even people with positive credit, I've never seen a completely accurate report. I'm drinking water, so. Never seen a completely accurate report. Never. So let's go to the next slide. Steps in factual disputing. You want to review your credit report. Obtain a copy from the major credit bureaus. I like to use, hold on you all. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Steps in factual disputing. Review your credit report. Obtain a copy from the major credit bureaus. I like to use Smart Credit. That's who I use to get out the credit reports. But I also recommend our members to go get Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion individual reports. And I'm gonna tell you why I do that in this next. So you want to identify the errors. I had a case where someone went to go seek damages for inaccurate credit reporting. This wasn't one of my members, but she came to me and told me what she was doing. And I said, okay, you already got your consumer lawyer? He said, yes, I found one. She's good and she know what to do. She have done this before. And I spoke with the lawyer, and the lawyer said, well, this member showed me the credit reports. New lawyer too, so no knock on her. This was in Memphis. This member showed me her credit reports, and she had inaccurate information that she got from her identity IQ. And she had been disputing it. She set up the paper trail, and she got some certified letter showing that she's trying to get this information out. And the member said the same thing. I'm like, oh, cool. So I went back to the member. I didn't want to try to check the paralegal, but I went back to the member and I said, so you did all this because they inaccurately reporting this late payment because you was never late. You got receipts showing you was never late. And you got this from Identity IQ, right? She's like, yes, I did. I know I'm going to get awarded some money because we're going to, like, she was hearing other people's cases where you can see, they give you a minimum of 1,000. But you can seek way higher than 1,000. She thought she was going to get paid. And I told her, that's not their reports. You need to go to their bureau website. I'm not giving the bureau name, but you need to go to their bureau website and pull their reports. Because when they show up in court, even if they get to court with you, because they may settle, just give you some money and say, hey, get out the way. But if they really were to show up, or you all meet in arbitration or something, before court, they're going to look at their report and they're going to say, we didn't furnish this information. This is from a third-party credit reporting agency. Credit monitoring agency. So even though that third party pulls information from the bureaus or the consumer reporting agencies, that third party is not them. So if you want to really catch them up, I'm giving you all an expensive gem right now because I haven't told a lot of people this. You need to have the actual reports, not from a third-party credit monitor, not CreditWise, not Credit Karma, not Smart Credit, TransUnion. When you really catch them up, you need it from the consumer reporting agency mouth. That's how you catch them up. So, because what you're getting from a company like Identity IQ or Smart Credit could be completely different from what they have on their websites. That's why when I work with my members, I do extensive details with them so they can understand this is how that account is reporting, and now you may want to go look to see legal help to seek damages. So that's how you identify the errors. You gather evidence. Remember, she got her evidence, so you can do the same if you got these reports. Collect documents supporting your dispute, receipts, payment records, etc. Contact the credit bureau. As I told you earlier, you can use the process online, by mail or phone, but the best way to get your results, let's go back to the beginning. I think it was right here. Right here, right after the TransUnion, you should explain in writing what you think is wrong. Sending your letters off in writing is the best way to do it. The best way. A handwritten letter is the best way. And if you all need letters, I can give you some letters. I got a letter library. Wait for the investigation. It typically takes 30 to 45 days for them to respond. If you're sending out certified mail, depending on your case, you can get responses a lot faster. I always tell my members, send them out certified mail. Why do you send them certified mail? You get a receipt back. I think I got some here because I had to do something for somebody. You get this. So you know with the tracking number, hey, I can check, okay, it arrived at Experian this date. Now I start my time clock. I got a calendar, I start the clock. Now what do? You wait it out. You're gonna wait for their response because they gotta, so the consumer reporting agency, if it's something on their end, they try to correct it in, because how it works inside these credit bureaus that we call them, the credit bureaus, they have someone who gets your dispute. When they upload it to their system using this eOscar, they are typing in if it's accurate or not accurate and delete or investigate. They sends it over, can't think of the exact term for it, but they send it over to the furnisher. The furnisher gets that information, which is the lender, the collection agency, or whatever you want to call them that's furnishing the information, your bank. That's the furnisher, that's their legal name, the person, the organization. They get that information, and now they compare it with their records. sometimes they don't have the records to compare it with, or sometimes they do and they know it is inaccurate or accurate on their end, and they send it back, and that's when you get your response. That's why it takes so long. When you get that response, depending on what you stated in your claim, now you decide how do you attack it the second time. Because you could get deletions the first time, what you're deleting, if you read the reports right. Or you can get a response that's generic, and now you have your first receipt. Now the second receipt, you send it out. Because all your dispute letters are uploaded to their platform. Anybody who ever called about a dispute, or try this, if you dispute on your credit, try this. Call them and say, hey, I sent in a dispute on June the 26th. And it said that you all got it on June the 30th. And you're calling maybe in July. I want to know, do you have my dispute letter? They have them. So when you use this receipt to seek damages, they have to comply, because by law, they got to keep up with your records. That's why you send certified mail. You don't just send it just to send it, you all. My bad, I'm shaking my camera. You don't just send it. I be getting excited. You don't send it just to send it. Like, you sending it to have the receipt of the recipient accepting your letter. Then you review the results. So credit bureaus inform you of the investigation outcome. Do not accept online responses. That's the worst way to get it, because they're gonna eventually bait you in. So let's move on. So do you all want to learn more? Do you all want to learn more? I would love to get some comments on it. Do you all want to learn more? Yes, they said they want to learn more. Okay, well, let's get into some more. I love it. Let's get into some more. Y'all hear my baby? I hear him. Mama got him right now. Okay, get this on my screen. Okay, so let's learn some more. What is a credit score? I mean, what is credit? Not a score. What is credit? Credit is the ability to borrow money or access goods or services with the promise to repay later. It is represented by scores. If you all paid attention to my other video, I talked about this, and I got to go into it again because this is the most important part. Good credit opens doors to loans and financial opportunities. What is a credit score? A credit score is a numerical representation of your credit worthiness. It is based on your credit history and financial behavior. It helps lenders access the risk of lending you money. A higher score indicates better credit management and enhances your access to loans and favorable interest rates. Let me read it one more time. So I got to read it again. Like I said, I like to make sure you all are catching it. A credit score is a numerical representation of your credit worthiness. It's a number. Sounds like an algorithm. Let's go to the next one. I'm gonna skip this one. I want to show you all this. Credit scores are not real. I will go back to the next one. I mean, the previous one in a second, because I want to show you all why I put emphasis on numerical representation. Credit scores are not real. Fair Isaac Corporation is FICO and Vantage are not real. They are algorithms. It's an algorithm. They are algorithms. Like it are sets of step-by-step instructions or rules that guide computers in solving problems and completing tasks. They are used in various fields. Many people use algorithms. Facebook has an algorithm. Amazon has an algorithm. Google has an algorithm. The consumer reporting agencies have algorithms. It includes programming, mathematics. Remember that numerical number? Data analysis. Remember that numerical number? Artificial intelligence. Remember that numerical number? Algorithm process input data and produce desired outputs, enabling computers to perform complex calculations, make decisions, and automate tasks. Why do you think when you apply for something online or in person, they come back so fast and say, look, you approved for this amount, or we had to make a decision later. You're dealing with artificial intelligence algorithms that is computing the data and solving the problems. It's looking at your previous history, as I stated in the other video you all haven't watched. Credit scores are not real. They only exist because of the consumer credit report. Excuse me. Meaning your credit report exists without your score. They sell us on scores. So I want to go back into a little history. I can't tell you the exact time, but I want to show you all how this partnership with Fair Isaac and Vantage came into place. First, it was the Consumer Reporting Agency. When they first came out many years ago, 19 something, that was the name. My dad, my grandparents, they could confirm because I asked them. And they said, yeah, when they first came out, that's what they used to call them, Consumer Reporting Agencies. Well, they was only able to look at a consumer report and say, okay, this person was late this day, this person was late this day, this person paid on time, or they was looking at, hey, this person got all on-time payment history, but something don't seem right. And they end up finding a way to partnership with something called credit, which credit gave them a numerical way to look at your history, your past behaviors, and help them understand should they give you what you're applying for. That's how these companies became partners. That's where the word credit score came from. It used to be just consumer reports. Now it's credit scores. Now it's credit bureaus, because people start to, it should be just credit reporting agencies, but people took their own words and named it something that their name is not. I want to show you all something in the USC code 1681A. This is the definition rules of construction. This is put together by the the Fair Credit Reporting Act. My bad. Let's talk about this. As I go over this with you, I want you all to pay close attention. Definitions of rules of construction set forth in this section are applicable for the purpose of this subchapter. This is Cornell law. Y'all can look it up. Cornell law is legit. This is not something I'm saying. What I'm going to show you is that credit bureaus do not exist. The term person means individual, partnership, corporation, trust, estate. Person. I thought that was talking about us. No, we're not an individual. We're not a partnership. We're not a corporate. We're not a trust. That's not us, right? So who could that be? Well, let's go to C. 1681. If you all looking at it, follow me. The consumer. The consumer is an individual. So we know plain as day, this is not to confuse you. A person is an individual so far as a business, because businesses can be individuals. So proprietorship. This is saying solely for business B. But C is speaking on a consumer, an individual. Let's use a little sense with this one. We go down to 1681 AD. 1681D. In general, the term consumer reports means any written or either communication of any information by the consumer reporting agency. Consumer reporting agency. So let's define what a consumer reporting agency is. I love these hyperlinks because it gives you the definition. F. The term consumer reporting agency means any person which, for monetary fees, dues, or cooperative nonprofit basis, regularly engages in whole or in part of practices assembling or evaluating consumer credit information or other information on consumers for the purpose of furnishing consumer reports to third parties, and in which uses any means or facility of interstate commerce for the purpose of preparing or furnishing consumer reports. Consumer reporting agency. It didn't say nothing about credit bureau in there. I didn't see credit bureau in there. It said consumer reporting agency. So where did we get credit bureaus from? Where did we get that from? This section also tells you about late payments, utilization, and some more. Like I did some good stuff in the other video. I just gotta keep saying it because that video explained a lot to the people who was on it that night. So as we go back to where we are at, got my keynote. Credit scores are not real. It said nothing about a credit score in there. It said nothing about FICO, Vantage. It said nothing about none of that in there. But we are in the algorithm when we use our reports. Therefore, we are stuck on what the score should be. If you learn how to manipulate the reports, you can manipulate the score. So it goes back to this section. Credit scores are broken up into 5 categories. What are those 5 categories? 35% is your payment history. 30% is the amount of money you owe. 15% is your length of credit. 10% is new credit. And the other 10% is your credit mixture. That equals up to 550 points. So 35% is 192, meaning anytime that you pay a bill late or you pay it on time, you are able to give yourself up to 192.5 points into your future credit score, or take away 192.5. The amount of money you owe, that means how big your credit line is. That's 165 points. So if you go get a $300 secured credit card instead of putting up $1,000, you just potentially taking away 165 points of what your score could have been. The length of credit history, how long you have had these accounts, 82.5 points. That means how long you have had these accounts available and open and in good standing. New credit, whenever you apply for new credit, 55 points. Credit mixture, that means you have open accounts, revolving accounts, installment accounts. So that means more credit cards, maybe some personal loans. Those things are part of that credit mixture. When you have all these going right starting out, that's 550 points. When you learn how to manipulate these, that's how you get 700 to 800 credit score. That's how you do it. If this was valuable for you, wherever you are at, please drop some comments. If you have questions, drop your questions. I would love to answer your questions. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I do respond back to my own comments, and somebody on our team does. So please drop your questions. Let's talk. I hope this information really helped you all understand some things about factual disputing. It can be done. Now, I want to get into a factual disputing that I did for myself. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up this document. Let me get this document for you all. I told you all before I was sued. Yes, I was sued before over a petty credit card that I should have took better care of. But I'm not going to blame them. I'm going to blame myself. Okay. Let's see if we can get this screen up real quick. Y'all bear with me. I'm getting good with these things. All right. Oh, let's try to do that. All right. So let's see if we can get this screen up. So I want to go into what a credit report is real quick. We typically send this information to our members who join our program. And the reason why we do this is because it gives you a head start to the dispute process. So these are credit scores. This is how someone report will look. They will have one missing and the other two showing. The reason why you may have a missing report is because something is wrong with your personal information, or you don't have something reported. Something is missing, which is considered incomplete and inaccurate, but you have to identify what it is. Excuse me. Also, remember I told you all, this is from Smart Credit. This same information is not furnished from Equifax. Therefore, they cannot be blamed for what Smart Credit received, because if you go directly to the source, you will get a credit report. I have seen it happen so many hundreds of times. Somebody come to us, I don't have an Equifax score, I don't have an Experian. Then we go directly to the source and they able to find the reports and score. We're able to find the report, not the score, but the report. Remember, the score is based on what's on the report. But if the report don't have the right information, you won't have a score. That's why this person does not have a score, because the report is not available to this third party. Utilization. That is part of that 35 to 15%. When your utilization is high, your scores will suffer. If this person was able to get their utilization down below 30%, their scores will go back up. It's part of the 35%. Remember, I told you, when your utilization is high, not utilization, when you are dealing with that 35% of that report, that causes you to lose up 192.5 points. Derogatory summary. So you see nothing negative on Equifax, but we have negative items on Experian. These are the derogatory items you have on Experian. You got one. Now, when you start to dispute on something like this, you have to know exactly why ability recovery, which I think that's it is. What are they reporting? Is the accounts correct? Are they the original creditor? Because it's not, say, collection. Is the balance they trying to collect correct? Also, I'm gonna give you all one of the greatest gems. 2021, November, if I'm not mistaken, Congress implemented, not Congress, the CFPB implemented a no parking rule, meaning your credit reports has an invisible but visible stamp in the middle of it that says no parking, meaning a collection agency cannot park a collection on your credit reports without notifying you first. If you have not been notified, they cannot put that on your credit reports. Therefore, if they do that, they have violated the law. I didn't say this. Look it up. Look up the no parking rule for credit reports. They cannot put a collection on your credit. If anybody has a collection on their credit and you know you was not notified properly, you need to go get our letters to get it off. You need to seek help today. These letters, let's go to this next letter. These letters are generic letters. How I know that? Because I used to send generic letters because I didn't have no knowledge about this. This is a generic letter. Just read it. My name is, please delete any derivatives. I don't know how to pronounce the word, but I won't use it. Of my name, my date of birth, my current address. This is a generic letter. This is generic. It's generic, you all. We have letters that are tailored to actually help you get results. Now, I was going to show the other page to show where I was sued at, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is show you all the proof. And this is all real-time stuff. I got the templates right here. So, because it got personal information here, that's what I'm not going to show you all. So let's show the letter first. I use this letter. And I sent it in to that collection agency that's on there. I sent it in before I was even summoned to go to court. And as you can see, I got a return sender not found. When I went to court, because as you can see, it's stamped for the court. Here's the civil paperwork. So I'm not just telling you something. This happened 4 years ago. So here's the civil paperwork. Hold on. Let's see, how can I do this the best way? Well, this Shelby County. Y'all know Shelby County. If you're from Memphis, you know Shelby County. Here's the paperwork with my name on it. When I went to court, I had my firepower with me. I went in that thing bulletproof. And the judge asked me, was I aware of the debt that I owed this collection agency? This before the no parking rule was out there. So, Judge, I pulled my credit reports. If I'm allowed to speak, I pulled my credit reports. I saw this collection agency. I'm not aware of the debt. And on top of that, I tried to reach out to this collection agency to find out why am I being collected about debt. When I sent them this mail to the P.O. box that is listed on my consumer reports, it was returned back to me non-deliverable. All right, case out. They looked at it. Okay, case dismissed. And that was fire. I went into the courtroom with so much confidence because I had been doing my research. And I want to help you understand this information as well. That's why I'm here. I would love to help you understand it. So if you're looking to get the letters, you're looking to get the help, you're looking to better your current situation, you don't have to keep struggling. Remember, as I said before, I'm here to help people who are lost and don't want to be lost. I'm here to help people who got bad credit, but they know it's a better way. You don't have to have bad credit. No matter if it's bankruptcies, charge-offs, which charge-offs shouldn't be legally reporting. If it's collections, no matter what it is, inquiries, we can work together to get these items out by not only using the methods that are proven, but consumer law. We have consumer laws that we can show you that we have studied and worked with other members to get these results. If you want to get that help, I would love to get some feedback. Please drop your comments. You can join the Find a Credit University. You can get out the Screw Letter Library with so much of our content explaining this. And you also can get one-on-one help if you decide. Are there any questions before I decide to end everything today? Any questions?